Hey, it's Dr. Amanda with Straightsmile Solutions, straightsmilesolutions.com, and we're now going to do a video, another pathology video, but a video about retained baby teeth where there is no permanent premolar to come in. Usually these are E's or second premolars that are missing, and the E's just hang on, And these run in families. It's not a big deal. It's a fairly common situation. The question is, how do you deal with it? I mean, obviously, sometimes people pull them out and they just close the space, but that's like a premolar extraction case. I'm not a huge fan of that, unless you need the space for later. The other thing is like, well, how many are there? Is there one? Is there two? Is there three? Is there four? Could be any number. Most commonly, it's one or two. Occasionally, I've seen three. Sometimes I've seen four. Sometimes four is easier because if it's four, at least it's balanced because these are a bigger tooth than the premolar, right? So if you have two premolars in and two of these, you're going to have kind of a funky bite. It's better if it's all top or all lower, but still, you're going to have a Bolton discrepancy, either a right-left one and a midline shift, or a top-bottom one, which could leave overjet or negative overjet, which can be kind of a problem. So ultimately, to me, it comes down to the patient's age, the bite, do we need the space, do we not need the space, and the roots and how they're doing. If the kid is young and the roots look good, I want to try to keep them as long as possible, maybe even for a lifetime. I think I might have mentioned that I've got family members who are in their 70s who still have them. So if you take good care of them and you don't put too much force on them and you don't move them, they should last a really long time, depending on the bite, of course. So you got to be careful. So my preference is always to treat these cases with Invisalign. Why? Because I can not move them if I don't want to. I can just block them. You know that sometimes they might not be straight. Who cares? They're a baby tooth. And sometimes they might not quite be in the arch, but I'd rather do that and have them for a lifetime, or at least have them till 22, 25, or whenever the patient is ready to get an implant if they start to resorb. That's kind of my goal. Because if we pull them out now and we have a space and the kid is like 12, well, that bone is going to get a defect by the time they're ready to get an implant. And they're going to need a bone graft, which is going to be much more complicated and, a lot more expensive. And we don't want to do that if we don't have to. So that's kind of how I manage them. So that means the mechanics that I'm going to do is going to try to be as minimal as possible. Now, if this is an older patient or if they're already resorbing like crazy, fine, I'm going to move them then. I don't care. I might as well, I don't want to pull them yet, but I'm going to move them because I know they're going to disappear anyway. So let's move them. Let's move them around. If we need to, we can whack the ends off of them, for the Bolton. We can hemisect them. There's a lot of things you can do. If you need the space, or instead of IPR, I mean, no sense in doing IPR on permanent teeth if you can just whack these guys and use the space up. They've got really bulbous mesial and distal, contour, so just whack it. And you can use that space. That's easily 0.5 millimeters right there. So yeah, just be careful with your E's. Move them judiciously, move them selectively, and if needed, don't move them at all. That would be my suggestion, and try to have them hang on as much as possible and tell the patients don't eat chewy and sticky stuff on them. Anything they can do just to keep them from jostling around would be great. All right, thanks so much.